Simran, guys. As I've been thinking about this a lot. I watch this YouTube that speaks about manipulation in relationships, and you start realizing the problem becomes overt versus covert relationships and communication within that space. So basically, overt is clear, it's visible, um, expectations, and whereas covert it's more hidden, concealed, unclear type of thing. And most of us live a life of covert relationships, meaning ukuthi there's many things that go unsaid, yet they are those uncommunicated expectations. So let's take work. So you go for a job interview. There's many things that are hidden in questions such as: Are you flexible? Are you agile? Are you a problem solver? Those things, there's a lot of uncommunicated expectations that are said in those type of questions. And then you look at in romantic relationships where you say, "Oh, I'm looking for a nice guy." What does that mean? So my generation of guys in their mid 30s, more and more of them are just opting to become single. They struggling with the nuance and the uncommunicated expectations. So, just to give you a very, very crude example, if I'm a guy and I go to a prostitute, it is a very overt relationship. She says, "Hey, I want 1,000 rand." I say, "Hey, I want sex. Let us exchange." It is very clear, it is very visible. I give her 1,000, she gives me what I need, and it's done. It's a very clear relationship, and we keep it moving. Um, if I have a romantic partner and she says she needs 1,000 rand, why? Uzoyenzani leyo mali? Is it for your hair? Is it for your nails? Where's your money? Where's this? There's so many unanswered questions that, or rather questions that will go through my mind that I may ask her, I may not ask her. And there'll be expectations attached to that I may not communicate. Well, if I give you 1,000 rand, I need bedroom loving for the next week. I need you to cook for me. I need appreciation. I need you to say thank you via verbal, via text, via you writing it in the sky. There's a lot of uncommunicated expectations around that. So when someone says, "I'm looking for a nice guy," what is that? What does nice look like to you? So when we just take that nice guy, nice girl, I want a respectful woman. What does respect mean to you? And it's very, very layered, and we don't have these communications, or at least clear communicative tools, because now we also still trying to figure out what does a respectful partner look like to me in 2023. Is it someone who doesn't wear pants and just wears a dress? Is it someone who makes sure what she cooks and cleans for me? Is it someone who calls me baba? What does respect look like to me on the receiving end? So it becomes so much tougher for me to communicate those type of things, because well, now I'm trying to figure it out. Whereas if I'm looking for an overt relationship where it is, I'm looking for a slay queen who wants me to buy her bottles and take her to Conca and buy her Gucci bag, and in exchange she will give me her body for that night. It becomes very clear our expectations on both ends. It's not nuanced. It's not reading between the lines. It's not that passive aggressive bullshit that tends to happen within relationships, especially romantic relationships. But it is a very clear. If I'm not happy, if you don't buy me the Gucci bag, I am not going to be happy. Therefore, I will not leave with you. Full stop. If you don't buy me a bottle of Verve, therefore I'm not coming to sit at your table, and that ends there. It's not a nuanced dance. It is not a ukshelana reading between the lines. So again, this whole overt versus covert relationship dynamics is really, really something that we all need to look into. Uncommunicated expectations is the reason why your relationship, professional and romantic, is in the situation that it's in. If the relationship that you have with your line manager, if the relationship that you have with your partner, then you need to actually sit. What are the uncommunicated expectations that we have on both ends? Every time you walk into the office, you realize that your line manager rolls their eyes, and you don't understand what that is about. That to realize that the line manager gets to work at 8 and has not communicated with the fact that they have an expectation for you to also be there around 8. You rock up there at 8:45 and they roll their eyes every single time, and then you roll your eyes when you see your line manager leaving at 4, because you stay there till 5, and you're like, I don't understand. Why do they always leave at 4? Why do they have special treatment? There's an uncommunicated expectation on either end, so, and that's just one example. There could be 50 examples with you and your line manager. There could be 50 examples with you and your partner where, again, my partner should know that when I'm feeling down, my favorite food is a PS chocolate. My partner should know that on days like this, they should massage my feet. My partner should know that I don't like. My partner should. No one is a mind reader on any end. Females aren't mind readers, men aren't mind readers in your heterosexual relationship, in your homosexual relationship, in your undefined relationship. No one is mind readers. In your work relationship, no one is mind readers. And you have all these expectations, you have all these demands that are not communicated, or rather, even if they are, even if you know exactly what they are, you scared of communicating with them, or communicating those expectations out of fear of losing the situation or the relationship that you're currently in. So if I go to my boss and I have all these expectations and I go blah 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 blah, there might be a fear of a pushback from their end. If my line manager comes and says, Penson, I expect you to be at work at 8, meanwhile I have to go drop off my kids, whatever the expectation is, I'll say, look, unfortunately I can't do that, and if that is your line in the sand, then I have to look for different employment. The uncommunicated expectations in a relationship of, I would like a female who will cook for me and clean for me, and I communicate that to my partner. There's a fear that should I say that, they say, look, I'm not that type of woman, unfortunately I have to buy out. So what then tends to happen is that we start manipulating the situation. Maybe you've seen it at your work where the status meetings gets earlier and earlier and earlier, where you're told that you need to put the camera on for status meetings. Maybe those status meetings need to be face to face at work. So all of a sudden, it's a manipulation rather than a communicated expectation. You see it with your partner, where all of a sudden, please, can you come help me chop onions? It's made to seem as something small, and it's a little nuanced manipulation dance. Some done in a positive way, some done in a negative. But either way, I'm trying to get you to do something without clearly communicating those expectations, without clearly saying, this is what I want. And it's an expectation of, well, I've been calling you for, asking you for these favors of chopping onions or chilies or whatever the case is for the past 2 weeks. Now you need to know, yeah, now you need to do it automatically because you need to be able to read my brain. So it's such an interesting conversation that I wish we could actually just jump into. Overt versus covert relationships, re- romantic and professional, and how we can do better, you know, and how we can do better. First and foremost, by starting to first figure yourself out before you can go and communicate these things effectively. Anyway, write what you think. I might be wrong. Like, share, comment, do all those right things, guys. But anyway, Ngenzanda, have a fantastic day. Sharp.